Pushrod Fury.
Today we're going to fix tachometer and speedometer. I'm going to focus mainly on the tach because the speedo is pretty much the same stuff. Let me show you what I'm doing. First I remove it from the bike and I remove the housing. And if you haven't seen a video on how to clean up chrome using aluminum foil and salt water, check that video out, the chrome video. I'm going to use a technique. I'm not going to show you in this one, on this end, get that nice and sparkly again. Just want to show you a couple tools. So to be able to get the cases off the tachometer, I've got a little screwdriver, paint can opener, a couple of spoons, some skewers. These are actually cuticle pushers, wrench, larger screwdriver. And then before I take it apart, because I've got multiple units here, this is the original. I want to keep it. It's low mileage. It only has 3,000 miles. And so I figure the tach will last longer if I start with that. And so I just put a little index mark on the wire so I know that this wire loom goes with the tachometer. Pull that off. Next I've got the tach. And let me show you why. And I've already removed the ring to practice before I made a video to show you how to do it. So I'm just going to flip this over. And the reason I'm replacing the lens is that it took a bit of a hit, I guess, by the previous owner. And it shattered the lens and all the glass went into the tachometer. So I bought a replacement set, a used set from eBay. When I got the set, I was originally just going to replace it, but then I noticed it was sun faded. I didn't notice that when I bought it. But it's not as pretty as the original, which still has that deep red color at the red line. So I've decided to take this lens and just put it onto this instead of reusing the whole new speedometer. I'm going to salvage the old one. I also wanted to make sure that the old tach still works. So of course I don't want to go through all this effort and then find out the glass pieces got in there and are hurting the mechanism. So I'm going to put the phone in a position so it'll film this and show you what I did. So I don't have the tach cable with me, and I'm being careful not to put the dial down, but there's the drive unit. So I took basically a kebab skewer, this is actually a cuticle pusher, and I shaped the end into a point and then put that in my drill and put that there. Now it needs to spin counterclockwise, so make sure you have it going counterclockwise, and I'll show you that it works just fine to run a test. So just want to make sure, does this thing work smoothly? So let me show you how that goes. Okay, and here we go. You can see it works really nicely. The other thing is, I was going to remove the face and inspect what's going on behind it, but I kind of chickened out because I couldn't remove the needle cleanly. The techniques they show online, you basically take 2 spoons, one on either side. I put some protective tape on there and I tried to pry it off, and it was just making me uncomfortable. The other thing is, if you do that, before you remove that needle, you can see it's got a needle, it's got a rest. So you have to find its resting position. I'll go ahead and show you that. The resting position, you just gently lift it up and over that position. You see it naturally rests there. And so I marked on my side, it's not visible, where the resting position is approximately. And also just in case I lost orientation, where the 0 should be. So I made those marks. You can also see I kind of chewed up the housing as I was prying the retaining ring off. So when I do the next one, I'm going to wrap it in tape to protect it. So that's the objective today. I'm going to get this lens, the lighting's terrible, we're going to get this lens off and we're going to put it into this unit. The other thing I want to point out, I'm only going to use water, a little bit of water and a tissue to clean the face, because when I was cleaning other surfaces on the bike, I used Pledge, and it actually removed some of the white paint. So that was off of the indicator light assembly that goes in between the two gauges. It removed some of the white paint. So I just want to be cautious not to use any chemicals on this. Just a little bit of water on a soft tissue, and that's it. Okay. So basically where you want to start is on this ridge, and you need to get a purchase on that and kind of gently go around. It takes like 3 or 4 rotations of getting enough of your object that you're using underneath the ring and then pry. So don't expect this to be one pass in 5 minutes. This took me 45 minutes to remove, and hopefully I can do it faster now. But if you get too carried away, you're going to damage it where it's visible. Now most of this, we should be able to tuck it away and not see it later. But we certainly don't want to try to make any of these creases go past that sort of form mark there. I'm going to put this down. So I wrapped this with a couple layers of tape to protect it. And now I'm going to try to begin this process. And I'm just going to show you a little bit, and then I'll probably do stop motion. So you can see I get a little bit of blade under that. And then if I want to be a little more responsible, this little cuticle pusher fits there too, so I can protect the plastic case. You can also see the plastic case is flexing, so if you get too carried away, might crack something. And again, this is just my method. Probably several. It's a little annoying when it pops out like that, but you basically keep going. All right, so you're just going to keep doing that, and you go all the way around, and you can use different tools. So once you get the first sort of exposure of that lip, you can get other little tools, pry tools underneath it, and go around. So next you're going to just see stop motion of me working on this. So I'm going to stop regular recording and put it in stop motion. Okay, so here's the lens. It's actually a real lens. It's you see, it's a convex lens, and it's glass. It's a really nice gauge. But the lens is really dirty, and I tried Windex. I also tried, that didn't work very well. I tried vinegar and water, and that didn't work. And I guess the best result came from this eyeglass lens cleaner, which I think is just ethanol. It's like an ethanol solution. That and a microfiber cloth. And you really want this clean before you put it back on, because the last thing you want to see is a thumbprint staring at you for the rest of the bike's life. I don't think you can get in and out of this aluminum ring, say more than once, maybe twice, before it just falls apart on the back side. So now I'm going to assemble it. Go ahead and mount the camera, and you can just watch me go through that. But I want to point out, make sure that the needle is in the right position, resting on that pin. I never removed the needle, so I didn't need these reference marks. I also didn't remove the faceplate, so I didn't need those reference marks either. And I think that this will look great. All right, give me a minute. So there it is. There's the finished product. The only thing I have to do is crimp the back of this on. And I won't bore you to death, but I'm going to use a dowel, and I'm just going to push the aluminum back on like that. So I'm just going to go around real slowly. Oops, trying not to do what I just did. And just crimp the aluminum back onto the housing. And so I'll just go all the way around, and that should finish it. And there you go. There's the repaired